Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel, and we talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you know you're in the right place, and we're happy you stopped by to join us. Today also happens to be Sci-Fi Sunday on this channel, where we talk about all things sci-fi, fantasy, and comic book related. And today we're going to kind of break that rule just a little. We're going to be talking about the delay of the new film Soulmate, but it's also in the same vein as M3gan, so it is sort of bordering on that whole sci-fi thing as well. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so if you don't know, Blumhouse had this movie that was supposed to be a spinoff of M3gan in a roundabout way. I don't know that it's a direct spinoff, but it was in the same universe as M3gan. And pretty much what this boiled down to is that this guy had lost his wife, and he had this AI robot that was created, his own personal little AI robot girlfriend. And there's been a couple films like that recently. There's been at least two. Companion, and then there was the one with Megan Fox that came out not too long ago too. And that's okay. That's fine, but there is something wrong with this movie, or is there? Because here's the thing. I don't think that this is necessarily a death sentence for this movie, and let me tell you why. Because according to everyone, and this is from several different sources, there is bad news for the M3gan spinoff Soulmate, which seems to be shifting release dates and going from a potential theatrical release to streaming on Peacock instead of theaters due to production marketing pacing. Now, the general concern here is that the film may not be that good. It may not live up to M3gan's hype. Despite being this futuristic, erotic thriller from James Wan and Blumhouse, there's a lot of things that are wrong here. Number one, it was originally slated for January 9th, 2026. And before that, it was actually supposed to come out on January 2nd of 2026. But they had some speculation then about farther delays or streaming dumps. Now, the rumors are that Universal and Blumhouse might send it straight to Peacock, bypassing the theatrical run. And this is sort of what everybody's been running with. This is what everybody's been saying. And some fans worry that it is just not going to be a good movie. And it has been said that this movie has had some test screenings, and these test screenings have been bad. That this movie is just atrocious. All this stuff that everyone's running with. Now, I don't know that all of this is true, but this is what's being said. This is what everyone is running with. This is what is officially being said, is that it's just not going to be that good. But how can we know that without having seen the movie? And then you have this fact that everyone's running with this thing that the Blumhouse team doesn't even want to see this movie come out in theaters. They just want to kind of dump it on streaming and be done with it. And that's okay if they do. It really is. Now, keep in mind, this movie is supposed to be a M3gan spin-off movie. So, yes, that's a big deal. Now, M3gan 2.0 didn't perform well at theaters either. So you might be hearing people talk about that. M3gan 2.0 didn't perform well. M3gan 2.0 wasn't that good. And it's sort of one of those things. It wasn't necessarily what fans expected from the M3gan universe. The first M3gan movie was much more in the vein of horror than the second one. The second one kind of ran into the sci-fi thing, and they did it well. I thought they did it okay, but they sort of at some points kind of made her a superhero, and I don't think that people were ready for that. I think that a lot of people really did want to see M3gan continue in the horror movie franchise. Now, even Blumhouse has said that they sort of messed up there. They said they took a swing and missed, that they shouldn't have done that with the M3gan character, that they should have kept it in the vein of horror. And they also went on record as saying that they intended to bring this character back at some point. They want to bring M3gan back at some point in the future. So when you look at it that way, this movie being connected to M3gan sort of serves a big, huge purpose within the M3gan universe. If this movie goes to theaters and it flops 1,000%, this movie goes to theaters and it's horrible, then yeah, that's going to be really bad. But now, with them saying that this movie isn't going to be released on its release date, this movie isn't going to be released in theaters, it's going to be dropped on streaming, probably Peacock very quietly, and they're just going to hope for the best. Basically, if you are a sci-fi horror fan, or a fan of these different AI robot type of movies that have been coming out, especially since they've already done 2 that border on this erotic theme as well, that's going to kind of be their moment. That's going to be what they look to accomplish, is to get it in with those films, but also have it be connected to the M3gan world, which, as far as we know, is still a thing. Unless they cut that scene, whatever scenes existed that connected it to the M3gan universe. Personally, I don't think it was going to be anything big anyway connecting it. I think that it was going to be a name on a screen or something like that. I don't see a world in which they connect it to the M3gan universe in some big capacity, hoping that this is going to revive M3gan. But if this movie is good and the name M3gan drops on a screen or something, you better bet that fans are going to notice. And when these fans notice, they will have something to say. And that's what they've got to be hoping for, that the fans of the M3gan movie will watch this movie. They've got to be hoping that. They've got to be hoping that the fans will embrace this movie no matter how they do it. No matter if they put it in theaters or if they put it on streaming. Because a lot of stuff is coming out when this movie's supposed to be released. A lot of stuff that's a lot more elaborate, a lot more expensive, and a lot more of a high-profile type of movie than this movie. So, having Soulmate released on a week when all this other stuff is coming out, maybe they just kind of said, whoa, this isn't the thing. Let's just back up a second. That could be it too. What we really need is for this movie to come out, even if it's on streaming. I think it coming out on streaming is not a death sentence. I don't see it as the end of the world. I see this as something that might actually benefit them, because there have been several movies throughout cinematic history that have not only not had theatrical releases, but even appeared on network TV or even appeared on Sci-Fi Channel or something, that have been good enough movies that people still talk about them to this day, that people want sequels to those movies. Some of them have even garnered enough respect in the industry to be considered by many to be some of the greatest films in their area. You know, whether they're sci-fi or horror or whatever. The greatest films don't have to be the ones that are released in theaters. That's just a fact. So when you're looking at this whole thing, I don't want anybody to be considering that this is just atrocious, that this is bad, that it means the movie's going to be bad, because we don't know that yet. But I thought I would bring this to your attention because this has been popping up all over the place. I've been seeing this everywhere, and it's just sort of crazy to me to think that this movie that wasn't going to be a huge success anyway, if you look at it, this movie wasn't going to be something that they could have marketed in an amazing way anyway. But that is where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Are you thinking that this movie is so bad it's never going to see the light of day? Are you thinking that this movie is going to be okay? Are you thinking it's better for them to put it on streaming, or would you rather have seen it go to theaters? Whatever you're thinking, I want to hear from you. So make sure you're leaving me that comment in the comment box below. Let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of this conversation as well. then if you're liking positive content about the fandoms you love, you're going to want to tell the algorithm that. Let the algorithm know that you want more positive content in your feed by hitting that like button. And if you're liking our channel personally, then you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell right next to it so that you don't miss a single video we do. Because friends, at the end of the day, I know it and you know it. Fandom is family.